The next game in the rotation is Among Us. Astral and Art Skill. Let's see how they've been doing so far. Positioned between themselves and a team made up of Trulex and Chicho that are under pressure. They saw the shots going from far away. Now's their chance to try to enter the box. And even though they didn't do a lot of the heavy lifting, they still got it across the finish line with a huge elimination.
Look, the end is what counts. Secured a full refresh now, extra loot to work with, and they're so close to the zone here. Art Skill can overbuild and even start building towards the zone and just recuperate with what they have, but all the duos seem to be interested in what's going on here, and maybe it just might not be worth it to continue building. But with the amount of materials they have, I mean, all they've really got to do is overbuild a few bases. Yepko continuing with his grapple blade. Blotcha too. 2 elims already to his name. Looks like they're feeling healthy.
Yeah, them holding their position there makes me feel like they were in quicksand for a moment. The more they struggled, the more they got stuck until they kind of repositioned, use a lot of those builds that they got from that elimination to extend outward and give themselves more room to work with as we jump on board Yapko and Blaha. Looking good. So much chaos going down around this lobby. There's only a few select teams that have been finding a way to stay away from everyone else, and that's going to be Firebro Marco on that list of players. You add on top that they're 278 above the damage threshold, and then they have that environmental mountain right next to them, kind of cover that you can't go through with their backs up against the wall, which means one more line of sight in which they don't have to worry about. But a max pull, well, Takata, that's a big worry.
It's a big worry, but they might even be able to use that mountain to block line of sight from their duos that will be taking shots with the rotate that's appeared all the way to the west. Although it might not be the best decision looking at the pile of duos there. You can see a lot of them actually choosing to go to the non-congested north side, and it looks like a pretty decent rotate. Meanwhile, Art Skill, Astral, they didn't do enough damage on that elimination they got to be healthy in terms of Storm Surge. The good news is they are positioned right on the edge of the zone, so now they should have options, maybe even building up a box or two to have that vision, but shouldn't be too much of a worry here as they get some tags. But is it worth it? As Art Skill gets cracked down to 40 HP, forced to use the med kit. Now Astral trying to recuperate that damage that they need. Has he hit that shot? 26 below, he has not. As now the nerves keep rising.
Yeah, they almost have no choice on this rotation to try to get closer and closer towards another team. Luckily for them, as they inch themselves forward, they not only find some loot, but Storm Surge shuts off as well, giving them a sigh of relief in a situation that looked bleak there for a moment. And now they have the Flowberry Fizz to try to get some HP back, or some shields back up, and then make it easier for their next rotation. But what's easy for some might not necessarily be the same for others. Zakatsu and Low-Key, they don't have the utility, but they definitely have more than enough heals, more than enough materials, and even seeing some berries on the ground. And that's the utility in which I was talking about, that will allow themselves to get the low gravity effect. You combine that with the grapple blade, and they're going to be able to cover distance on this max pull very quickly.
You can even use just a quick sip of that Flowberry Fizz juice, and it will give you the same effects without having to use the whole bottle. As now these rotations do come through, Casti using a lot of materials. Looks like he's almost trying to just build up and up and up, see if he can secure this positional advantage. But for how long will they be able to maintain it? As quickly enough, they cancel that decision, go straight down below to the dirt, group up now, hopefully with his duo partner, as he's taking a lot of shots.
250 flying through the sky just like that. He found himself some elevation. Just wants to stay away from that ultimate low ground as a solo. Art Skill doing the same thing. Finding a lot of success thanks to a lot of those builds they were able to grab onto early on, but 3 eliminations that gave them some surge above the threshold. But now that he's a solo, you see him slowly but surely falling down that threshold ladder. And you look up at the sky, it's Kenti and Peshka looking clean, looking smooth, especially since they have the resources to hold on to it momentarily.
Double layering up. They have the materials to do so. As Blaha, yep, go now. Up to 5 elims. Ahead of the zone. Are they grouped up, though? I'm looking to find him, and no, he was down below. Got split up, got knocked down. Will Blaha try and pick him up here? 17 seconds till zone closes. Is there enough time? Zone continues moving. Same duo up above. Is he going to be able to do it? Picks him up, has 2 medkits, but is he going to make it? No! Both players go down. It was not worth it. Switch back over to Art Skill. Does have time to use a medkit, but is it going to be the correct play as well as he gets shots taken from above? 13 HP now to work with. Medkit canceled. Only 1 more.
Yeah, quickly slides on over into the next box. He has more than enough utility to get back up, but it gets canceled. 1 HP, trying to go ahead and displace himself, but with 1 build left, he's not going to have much to defend himself, but he needs the time. He needs a moment to take a breath of fresh air, especially with Zone creeping on his backside. 1 HP is not going to give him that comfortability, but he's climbing up, finding different layers, but the Zone is continuously on his back. He sees a knock, tries to go for it, but gets shut down just like that. Not really given the time to regenerate his health or his HP, and that's exactly what happens.
Kobe Adrix, another elim up. That's 5 now. Has the medkits, has the materials. This duo's looking healthy, looking together. Synergy at an all-time high. Vortexers, though, alongside Volko, 6 elims, 5 medkits. They want to play the heal off from the low, and it looks like up top, there's been a bit of an aggressive play here. High ground has been overthrown. New crowns have been placed on Nathan and CZB as they continue to rain down from above.
They have a stranglehold right now over this game. So much pressure going down from above. Even Loki out of builds. He's starting to feel it. Tries to jump out, but gets shut down. 7 med kits onto Vortexers. Volko's there. You have to be able to survive in order to make those med kits count. That's more than enough to survive the heal off and that storm sickness warning when it does become a thing. Kobe trying to pass around the same med kits, giving the win condition over to Adrix, but the pressure is just too much. All the builds come crappling down. Monier drops down. Lunex is there as well, and they take down yet another team, but they themselves fall as they enter into the top 4.
The duo now who overthrew the high ground gets a bit of action put onto their shoulders as now Nathan using that medallion to recuperate his shield, now choosing to take that aggression as Adrix is still in zone. More medkits that I can count in his inventory, trying to survive as long as possible. Nathan up above with only 1 medkit. Is it gonna be enough? I don't think so. Does he know what is happening in zone?
Uh-oh. Medkit stops. Vortexer still has every medkit left on the map, but they get close. He tries to take action into his own hands. Nathan gets 1, but it's not enough to break through the build. Vortexer, with more than enough medkits to win the heal off, takes the game.
Vortexers could have lasted a whole other late game there with the amount of medkits he had, but the party did conclude in his box, although he still came out on top clean. Victory Royale.
Man, that's a way after seeing the leaderboards almost halfway through the day to start to build that confidence, to do what's needed to get that final placement, because it's where everybody lands at the end of the day. Depends on how many series points they get here in week 1 of our FNCS qualifiers. And Adrix did such a good job, but unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. 3 med kits used at this point for Vortexers, going for the 4th as Nathan goes in, but he gets sent right back on out. As we reach the halfway point, I'm going to send it on over to our desk to break down all the action thus far.